From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the Evening News Blast. LGBTQ Nation is reporting more than 170 U.S. citizens have been caught up in the Trump administration's maximalist immigration crackdown, ProPublica reported last October. That was before the brutal killings of queer mother Renee Good and ICU nurse Alex Pretti by federal immigration agents in Minnesota earlier this year. The number of U.S. citizens detained, beaten, or killed by immigration enforcement agents has only grown since, and a large number of the victims have been children. This week, out Representative Robert Garcia, the Democrat from California, and ranking member of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, and Senator Richard Blumenthal, the Democrat from Connecticut, held a surprise hearing highlighting how those children have been abused at the hands of ICE and Customs and Border Patrol agents. The hearing accompanied the release of a minority staff report on Tuesday entitled "Cruelty is the Point: How Trump's Immigration Agenda Endangers Children." The document cites 128 cases of children who have been injured, left unattended, or otherwise put at direct risk of harm due to operations of the Department of Homeland Security. Among the three teenagers who shared their stories in emotional congressional testimony was 16-year-old Arnaldo Bazan. Bazan, a U.S. citizen from Houston, Texas, was assaulted by ICE agents as they pursued his undocumented father. The two were stopping at a McDonald's for breakfast to celebrate Bazan making his high school varsity team when multiple unmarked vehicles pulled up beside their family's van. Our men with masks jumped out and started banging on the windows, Bazan testified. They never identified themselves or explained why we were stopped. We didn't know who these men were. I started recording on my phone. One of the unmarked cars rammed into our car multiple times. I even felt our car lift. Outside the van, Bazan ran to help his dad, and when some of the armed men grabbed him, he said, one officer put me in a chokehold and told me, "You're done." His grip was so tight, I wondered if I would even make it out alive, Bazan said, working hard to compose himself. With all of my strength, I screamed that I was underage and from the United States. When the agents let go, Bazan tried to gather a crowd to scare them off, yelling he had proof on his cell phone that officers tried to flip their vehicle. That's when they confiscated the device. Garcia displayed photos of Bazan in the hospital and recounted the effects of the attack. Bazan suffered injuries to his back and neck and evidence of a chokehold. Bazan said officers forced him and his father into one of the agents' vehicles and drove them to Bazan's house, where the two prayed for one last time. I tried to hug him, but he couldn't hug me back because he was handcuffed. His father was deported to Mexico. Since then, Bazan said he can't sleep and has missed school. We'll hear more from Representative Garcia in Part 2 tomorrow morning. That's the News Blast for this hour. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.